Hugh Jackman played Wolverine for 17 years. 17 years of movies, and in almost all of them, he was wasted. Not because the movies were bad, but because they kept pulling their punches. Logan didn't pull anything. And in 2017, we finally got what we've been waiting for. Not just a good Wolverine movie, but one of the greatest character send-offs in the history of superhero films. This is why Logan was the perfect ending, and why nothing since has come close. Every movie needed him, every team-up needed him. He was the safety net, the guaranteed ticket sale, and because of that, they could actually never let him be broken. He always had to win, he always had to survive, he always had to show up for the next one. They built a cage around him and called it a franchise. Logan is what happens when you finally open the cage. From the very first scene, something feels off. There's no heroic introduction, no music building him up. It's just Logan, passed out in the back of a car. Most superhero movies open up with the character at their best. Logan opens up with Wolverine at his worst, and that's not an accident, that's a thesis statement. And when those guys try to steal from him, even that scene tells you everything. It's not clean, it's not stylish, it's ugly. He's slow, he's struggling, he's tired. And right there, the movie makes it clear, this isn't a superhero story. This is what happens after the superhero story is over. Logan isn't saving anyone. He's a limo driver, trying to make money, trying to survive, trying to hold things together. And the detail that says everything, he's saving up for a boat, not for a mission, not for a comeback, just to take him and Charles somewhere quiet, somewhere they can disappear. That's not a superhero goal, that's a man who's done fighting. But what really makes this the most human portrayal of the mutants we've ever seen is how vulnerable they are. Logan's healing factor, it's fading, and it's not just age. The adamantium in his body, the thing that made him Wolverine, is slowly killing him, poisoning him from the inside. That's what makes it so tragic. The thing that made him powerful is the same thing that's destroying him. Charles, the most powerful mind in the world, has dementia, and when he loses control, he has seizures, and everyone around him becomes helpless. It's not just sad, it's terrifying. And then there's the world itself. Mutants aren't just disappearing, they're being erased. Something in the environment is suppressing them. So it's not just that they're weaker, it's that the world has moved on without them and they're being left behind. At the center of all this is Logan taking care of Charles. Not as a hero, not as an X-Man, but as someone who is responsible for him. And it's messy. He's frustrated, he's exhausted, but he still stays because deep down he cares, even if he tries to bury it. Think about what this relationship actually is. The most powerful telepath in history being cared for by a man who can't die. One of them is forgetting everything, the other can't forget anything. That contrast alone could carry an entire movie. Then Laura enters the story and everything changes. At first, she barely speaks. She watches, she reacts, almost like an animal. Because she's not just a kid, she's been raised as a weapon. And when she finally shows what she can do, it's shocking. Fast, brutal, efficient, no hesitation. And in that moment, you realize something important. She's not just part of the story, she's a mirror. Everything Logan has been trying to leave behind is standing right in front of him. Small, angry, and completely feral. What makes Laura so powerful as a character is that she's caught in between. She has the instincts of a weapon, but the potential to be human. And that arc, her slowly becoming more human, is only possible because Logan is there to show her what it looks like, even though he barely believes it himself. Let's talk about X-24, because I think this character is one of the most underrated villains in superhero movie history, and most people don't even realize why. On the surface, he looks like a gimmick. Oh cool, they made an evil clone of Wolverine. Been there, done that. But that's not what he is. X-24 is Logan without choices. He's what Logan looked like before he had anything worth caring about. No restraint, no loyalty, no hesitation, just violence on command. And here's what makes it genuinely disturbing. X-24 isn't evil in the way movie villains usually are. He doesn't want power, he doesn't have a plan. He just does exactly what he's told, completely, every time. That's the horror. Because for decades, Logan was that. He was a weapon in someone else's hands. Weapon X, Department H. He's been pointed at people his entire life. X-24 is the receipt. And when they fight, it's not hero versus villain. It's Logan versus the version of himself he spent 100 years trying to escape. And the only reason Logan wins is because Laura saves him. The weapon saved by the person she might become. That's not action movie writing, that's layered. We have to talk about this, because fans had been asking for it for years. A rated R Wolverine movie. And here's the thing people get wrong about this. It's not about the blood. Yes, the claws finally feel dangerous. Yes, the fights feel real. Yes, the consequences actually matter now. But the real reason the R rating works is because it lets the story be honest. A PG-13 Logan would have softened the dementia. It would have cleaned up the deaths. It would have given Charles a better goodbye. The R rating isn't just permission to show violence. It's permission to not look away. And that's what the movie needed more than anything. There's one scene that does more work than any other in the film, and it barely has any action in it. The farm dinner. Logan, Charles, and Laura sitting at a table with a normal family, eating, talking, laughing even. And for about 5 minutes, it feels like everything might be okay. Charles gives a speech about what it means to have a home, about not letting the things you've done define you, and it's the most devastating scene in the movie, because you already know it's not going to last. That family is going to get destroyed, and Logan knows it too. You can see it on his face, the way he keeps scanning the room, the way he can't fully relax. He's never been able to have this, and for one brief moment, the movie shows him what he's been missing his entire life, then takes it away. That's not just good filmmaking, that's cruel, and it earns every tear in that final scene. Then comes one of the hardest moments in the movie. Charles dies, and it's not heroic, it's not dramatic, it's sudden, and it's wrong. Logan doesn't get a goodbye, no final moment, just loss again, and you can feel it break him. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Logan exists because Hugh Jackman said it would be his last. That's it. That's why they let James Mangold make the movie he actually wanted to make, because they had nothing to lose. When the character is leaving, the studio doesn't need to protect him anymore. They don't need a sequel bait. They don't need the safe ending. They just need a good movie, and that's exactly what we got. But think about what that means. The only way we got a Logan-level superhero film is when the studio stops caring about what comes next. And studios almost never stop caring about what comes next. Deadpool and Wolverine brought him back, and it was fun, genuinely fun, but it was also a reminder of the difference. Logan worked because it was final. The moment it stopped being final, some of that weight disappeared. You can't have it both ways. Either the ending means something or it doesn't. And Logan chose to mean something at the cost of everything that came after. By the time we reach the final fight, everything has built to this. Logan has nothing left except Laura. And for the first time in the entire movie, he makes a choice to fight. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. He takes the serum one last time, and for a brief moment, you see the Wolverine we've known for years. Fast, relentless, unstoppable. But this time, you know it won't last. And then it ends. Logan dies. Not as a legend, not as a hero, as a man. On the ground, in the woods, with Laura holding his hand. He finally says the words he's been running from. So this is what it feels like. And the camera doesn't look away. There's no triumphant score, no dramatic slow motion, just quiet. And then Laura turns the cross into an X. That's not just symbolism, that's the passing of something. She was a weapon who learned to be human because of a man who learned what it meant to love something. He gave her that. And for someone who spent 200 years convinced he had nothing to give, that's not a tragedy, that's a life. For 17 years, Wolverine was one of the most iconic characters in cinema, and for most of those years, he was kept at arm's length. Too important to risk, too valuable to break. Logan finally broke him, and in doing so, gave us one of the most human stories ever told in a superhero film. We don't get endings like this anymore, not because filmmakers can't make them, but because studios won't allow them. Logan got through because of a coincidence, a star choosing to walk away, a director who cared, and a studio just this once got out of the way. If you've never seen it, watch it. If you have, you know exactly what I mean. Let me know in the comments what movie or show I should break down next. If you enjoyed this, drop a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next one.